Hello everybody, this is my YouTube channel. My name is Christina and yes, I keep my piano on my bed and it's fine. And today I'm gonna share you my experience with Russia. I am from Russia. I am from Moscow, not originally, but I used to live there for 10 years. So I'm gonna share you some tips and advices which you definitely need to know before visiting Russia, before visiting Moscow, because you might get scammed, you might get in trouble just because you don't know. So here we go. The first thing which you definitely need to go, for sure, check for your visa, check for your tickets, all of that, and be careful that after Dubai, when you just arrive to Russia, you don't have Wi-Fi. You don't, unless you have a Russian phone number. Since I have my Russian phone number, so I don't struggle, but I just imagine if you arrive in another country which you don't have somebody to meet you, you're just visiting, just traveling there, and you have this struggle that you cannot access, that you don't have any access to Wi-Fi or internet, it's quite difficult. So be ready, or get your SIM card ready so you have internet while you're abroad, because even my friend, when she arrives, she couldn't connect to Wi-Fi, because for that you need, in here in UAE, you can connect through email, and they give you 5 minutes or 15 minutes of free Wi-Fi till you approve your email on your email. I mean, it's still fine, but in Russia, almost everywhere, you have to have a Russian phone number in order to get free Wi-Fi somewhere in a restaurant and mall. In malls, we don't really have Wi-Fi's. Be ready for that too. And yeah, but there is, but you cannot get access to it. The first thing. The second thing is be ready that nobody speaks English, so you're gonna struggle, and people will struggle too, because they will try to speak to you, but they will not be able to. And it's fine. It's fine. People are still friendly. People still are glad to see somebody from abroad visiting Russia, visiting Moscow, because Moscow is beautiful. You have to visit Moscow. And St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg is my love, honestly. I love Moscow, I love St. Petersburg, I love my home city where I'm from. So it has a soul, it has history, it has some life, some vibe in that. But again, before visiting Russia, make sure that you're visiting it on the right time, because winter time, it's cold. It is cold. It's not like cold, you just wear a jacket. It is cold when you have 2 pants, you have 3 sweaters, you have scarf, you have hat, everything. Like, yeah, it's not a joke. Especially if -10 is still not so cold, -15 it's fine, -20, 25, yes, that we consider cold. But in Moscow, honestly, it's not so cold this time. These years, if you go far from Moscow, then maybe you may feel even -30. As a pure Russian, I drink my tea while I'm recording any video. Yes, and even if outside is +40, I will still drink hot beverage, never cold coffee. Who drinks cold coffee? And even if it is the summertime, be ready that it might be a rainy season. We don't have a rainy season. It may rain through the whole week. It may rain one day. It may rain 3, 4, 5 days. So make sure you have proper shoes, you have your umbrella, you have some jacket, because it is necessary. It's not like in Dubai, you go everywhere and every time the same weather. No, there you actually depend on weather. It depends how cool it is, if it's raining, if it's not, and it makes difference sometimes, if it's cloudy or not. If it's cloudy, then it might be a bit cooler. If it's not, then it might be really hot. So you need to be ready for that. The next thing, which I definitely must do and must know for you, it is never take a taxi from the street. Never, ever, 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 remember my words, never ever take a taxi from the street. I'm a bit sad to say that and to admit that, but people do scam this way, and it happened not only once, it happened twice to my different friends who were coming to Moscow. And one of them took a taxi from the airport, and you're gonna take a taxi, it's a written taxi, but when you take a taxi, you see they have this meter, and that's all scam. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Listen to my words. This is so important. Don't do that, because I was sad, really sad, to face that, but I am the one also who faced that. I didn't take that taxi because I know how to use a public transport in the common way, in the very comfortable way, but public transport in Moscow, it's something which you must use, I'm telling you. For instance, metro for sure, 100%. And so the problem is that my friend arrived to different airport, so from there you need to travel to my home. That's why I'm traveling to different airport, which is 10 minutes on the metro to my home. That's why I don't take taxi from metro, from airport. And you know, for Russian people to take a taxi from airport is kind of it's kind of weird. No, we don't take taxi, we take a public transport, especially when we have a Aero Express. It's a train which goes from the airport to the city. From 3 airports there is Aero Express. For instance, from airport Domodedovo you can take Aero Express. It costs around 600-700 rubles. I don't know how much it is. And then from there, from the Sheremetyevo, the same. You can take Aero Express, and from Vnukovo is the easiest one. You just take a metro straight away. So that's why we don't usually take a taxi. And if somebody comes and take taxi from the airport, it means somebody is not from Russia. That is like very simple, a common thing in Russia, I think, to think that way. Or either way, you can order a taxi. So for the taxi, the most important thing, never take a taxi from the street. Never ever take a taxi. It's not like Dubai, it's not like maybe in other cities and countries, unless you have your application. You must download application. It's called Yandex. I will leave a link for that. And you have to have this application for taxi. Please use only this one, because it's the most trustful, and it's the most convenient, and it's most popular, and it's most trustful, because they don't overcharge too much. For instance, from the airport to my home for my friend, it was around 60 kilometers, which is not much for Moscow. 60 kilometers, 50 something. So you can go around 1 hour there. Around 1 hour it will take your trip. So it was around 2,000, 3,000 rubles for taxi for that. But once they charged, these motherfuckers, they charged 11K. So you see the difference, and nobody's gonna charge you that much. So never take these taxis from the street unless you want to have a fight, you want to argue, then you can. But easiest way is, again, get your phone ready for internet, and then you need to have already application Yandex Taxi, and then use only this one, please, because it's the most safest way to travel to different cities, to different places in Russia. But again, if you're going to Moscow, for sure you're gonna live in the city center. You're not going to live too far from the center. So then I definitely recommend you to use metro, because it's the most convenient and beautiful way. Because the metro was built like in Soviet Union time, so it has a lot of history inside. When you take a metro, especially Kievskaya, Mayakovskaya, even you can tell now exactly which stations, you can Google that, but they are really beautiful. Like inside you see architecture, you see the ceiling, you see everything around. It has history, it has culture, it has, like, it's nice, it's just beautiful to see that. So please use the metro, it's the easiest way, because for sure also it's not everywhere the taxi we can stop, but in city center. So Moscow was built by circles. The first one was Kremlin, then the Sadova, I don't remember the name in English, even in Russian honestly, but so there are a few circles. So within that circles, for sure you're gonna travel, and within like 2-3 small circles you can everywhere travel by metro, because metro is very close to everywhere. Like, you can walk 10 minutes and there will be next metro station. In the city center is like that, because it was old, it was built like that. So you can use metro, and it's not like a shame or something in Moscow. It's more convenient, because sometimes you may get in traffic and you stay in traffic for 2 hours and you will move for 20 kilometers. So this happens. This is the traffic in Moscow. That's why a lot of people prefer to use the metro. Even my mom, she used to have a car, but then she realized, because she works in the city center, so for her to find a parking place, parking is a different problem in Moscow, to find a parking place or to stay in the traffic, so she prefers to take a metro, because for sure within 1 hour she reaches the place. Otherwise she would have to travel. It depends. If you're more comfortable with car, you can go by car, you can go by taxi, but I'm just saying that at least visit metro, at least visit once different stations, just to see, because it is beautiful. It is something what you can see on the internet. And another thing also, that we don't have any cards working in Russia. So if I'm going to Russia, I'm gonna use my card, which I have, Russian card. And if somebody goes to Russia, take cash with you. It is also another important thing, is the same as taxi. These are two most important points for you for this video. Never use a taxi rather than Yandex, and take your cash with you. It is a must-have, because we don't have this MasterCard and Visa working on in Russia. But I believe I heard that Union Pay is working in Russia, and Mir, it's a Russian cards which work everywhere, which work in Russia, I mean. And we don't have Apple Pay, it's not working there, of course, so I was just taking my card with me. No, you can pay online if you have Russian account, Russian bank account. You can just scan the code from the application and you can just pay. I mean, they made it comfortable, but that's what I'm saying, is just that you need to take your cash with you. Don't worry, it's quite safe in Russia. Nobody gonna stop you and grab something from your hand. Nobody's gonna, like, if you don't go way too far from Russia to small streets and at night. Even though I used to live in that places, but nothing happened. Maybe I'm lucky, but I don't know. It's not so common for Russia, for Moscow, for St. Petersburg to get robbed. No, not really. And yeah, take your cash with you. Your card will not work. And if you need somebody who may assist you in Russia, I can give you some contacts. Just contact me through email, which I leave down there, and I can help you with that, because I used to study in university and study languages there. So I have a lot of connections who study languages, study Arabic, English, Spanish, Italian. So I can find the people for you who would be so happy to spend some time with you, to show you around, to practice language, because we love when people coming from different countries to Moscow or to St. Petersburg. So in a few places I would tell you to visit is Vedinha. It's like a big park, huge park, I would say, and there where you need to walk a lot. Russians, we like to walk a lot. Even in the city center of Moscow, you need to walk. Please walk in the city center in the evening, in the summer, when we have street how do you say this, musicians on the streets singing some very popular Russian songs and different types of dancing or something. It's a really nice vibe when you just walk. It's nice music, it's nice, people want just to enjoy, to clap, to sing. It's so nice. Oh, for sure you will see some drunk people who already don't know what is reality. They will just be dancing there, but still it's really fine. Visit please Nikolskaya. It's right next to the Red Square. So there is a Red Square, and next to the Red Square from one side will be Kremlin. You can also visit that. You need to buy a ticket. You can buy it on the spot, I believe. And on another side will be the street Nikolskaya. It's also beautiful. Just walk there. It's a nice vibe. From there you can walk to the Lubyanka. From Lubyanka you can walk to Arbatska. I mean, you can just walk there. You don't need to take a taxi to the certain places. You just walk. That is the place is about, that you need to walk a lot. And when you walk, you actually see, because a lot of things are happening on these small streets, like musicians, like some exhibitions, let's say. And it's funny to see that some things are written there in Chinese, Arabic, and English. So if you walk on the city center, we're walking with my friend, and on the street, like a street only, like no cars. I don't know how to call that street in English, but it's like a pedestrian street, let's say, but it's quite wide. And there is some big like things, like they call it summer in Moscow, so they do different activations in there, and everything is written in English. Arabic and Chinese. That was so funny for me to see, because like not Spanish, Italian or something, Arabic and Chinese, the countries we are friends from with. So it was fine. It was nice, you know, that somewhere we are friendly to different languages, at least somewhere. And yeah, that is the places which you should visit. Of course, you can find some more places, but you just go and walk. This is the best advice I can give you. Same is in St. Petersburg. For sure, in St. Petersburg, you can visit some particular places, but again, you can just walk. In St. Petersburg, what I love, you just go and walk. You don't care where, you just walk, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful itself. The history, how it was built. It is completely different from Moscow. Moscow was built historically by circles. St. Petersburg is built like a copy-paste from Europe, with the streets and lines like that, because Peter first, that's how we call him, wanted to build like a city to Europe, let's say. So it is beautiful. Yes, please visit that. If you need any assistance, please send me on my email. I can assist you, I can help you, I can give you some contacts, someone who may help you there. And yes, enjoy your trip to Moscow, to St. Petersburg, to Russia. It's quite friendly, but you will face some struggles, but it's fine. It's everywhere when you travel. So please enjoy. Hope this video was helpful for you. Please remember about the taxi and money, and see you in the next video.